Hello and welcome back to the GorillaBiker. Today what we're going to go through is changing out the clutch line on Honda Supermagna and also changing the Petcock and fuel line on the fuel tank. It's fairly quick, it's pretty easy, so if you do have any additional questions or anything else, just leave them in the comments and I will get back to you. And also it will feature a quick on the road section talking about the clutch line, so I hope you enjoy the video. What you'll need is a new clutch line, .4 brake fluid and a piece of hose to bleed the clutch line with. I'd recommend HEL Performance for the line. I'll leave a link with what I got in the description. And also just remove this lower plate for access to the lower end of the line. This job is fairly straightforward, it just requires a little bit of patience and time. Also, if you are doing the tank, you'll need to order a new Petcock. They're about €80 and I would recommend cmsnl.com. Again, I'll leave a link in the description in order to get this piece. To start, remove your fuel tank. I already had mine removed as my Petcock was leaking everywhere, so the tank is only 2 bolts. So one at the very front, one at the back. Just make sure that you turn your Petcock to off before you remove the tank. To remove the tank, you'll also have to remove the seats. If you have 2, there's 3 bolts in total. If you have just the driver's seat, you only have 2 bolts. But either way, bolt either side of the front seat and 1 bolt at the very back of the passenger seat if it's fitted. Once the tank and seats are removed, it's time to open the clutch reservoir. 2 screws and it's open. Next, bleed all the fluid from the clutch line. Easier said than done. You'll never get it all out, but you know, most of it. To bleed the clutch, simply pump the clutch lever a few times and hold it to the bar or as close as you can. Once it's held to the bar, crack the bleed nipple and allow fluid to escape. Basically, just repeat this as necessary, and you'll get all the fluid out eventually. I'd also recommend just mopping out the reservoir to save yourself about a decade of time. Literally just any piece of tissue paper or whatever else and just drag as much of the fluid out with that as you can. Saves a lot of time. Next, note the placement of the current line and undo the bolt at the reservoir and the clutch actuator thingamajig. Once loose, undo any clips intact and pull the old line out. The stock line has some solid pieces, so no need to be gentle here. Drag it out, twist it, it doesn't come out too easily. Also, I usually just pop back in the old bolts temporarily to stop the world-eating acid that is brake fluid dripping onto painted surfaces. Just bolt the old bolts back in at the actuator and also the reservoir. Then look as happy as I do and make sure your new line is the right length. Again, looking as happy as me is essential here. If you don't, it won't work. Then what you want to do is fit one end of your new line. I just picked the reservoir end because it's easier. Remember, copper washer either side of the bolt. One side is, just to clarify here, when I said bolt, I actually meant clutch line end, obviously. I also say bolt again later, but I mean washer either side of the clutch line end and the bolt through. Sorry about that. Once one side is loosely fitted, route the line back through the bike, as you noted earlier, and that's pretty much it. Fit the other side of the line, again, washer, bolt, washer, and drive on. Now fill the reservoir up with .4 fluid and begin the pumping process. Same as before, just pump a few times, hold the lever in, crack the nipple and repeat. A tip here is put down paper or whatever and leave your bleed pipe off just for a little bit, and you know, do your normal pump routine and crack the nipple, and what you'll hear is a lot of air escaping. This is way easier to actually monitor and check than fitting on the pipe, and you can physically hear the air. So when you see a little spurt of fluid come out, and I don't mean little drips and drabs, I mean a full spurt of fluid, that's when you can put the pipe back onto the bleed nipple and bleed the actual line properly. Just make sure to constantly watch the fluid level of the reservoir. If you let this go too low, you have to repeat everything. You just don't want to do it. So just keep topping it up as you go and you won't have a problem. So keep repeating your pumping and cracking of the nipple until no more bubbles can be seen in your actual bleed line. Once this is done, top up the reservoir to the max. Clean all around anywhere that you could have had brake fluid. You don't want to leave that on the bike. I just use brake cleaner. Fit that cover panel back on to the lower end of the clutch line. Fit and tighten your reservoir cap, and that's it. You're done. You're good to go. Now, the tank. So the Petcock is pretty easy to change. One nut and it lifts straight out. Just make sure to pull out the old filter strainer if it's stuck like mine was. You want to replace that with the new one. You don't want to reuse the old one because they do kind of decay over time. Then replace the tank on the bike after fitting a new fuel line, or if yours isn't perished, reuse it. Mine was perished, so I just fitted a new one. I use new clamps as the stock ones are pitiful. So that's it really. Once the new fuel line is fitted, you're done. Now just make sure that you fill your tank up with fuel. Switch your Petcock to on, not prime, not off. And now the road test. So we're out on the road now, giving the new clutch line a bit of a test. And how does it feel? Honestly, not a colossal difference from the original feel-wise. There's definitely a more distinct friction zone. Oh, this corner, delicious. But so much as clutch feel, it's still a hydraulic clutch. There's still basically nothing there. What I will say though, whoops, is I've pulled a few accidental wheelies since installing it, because I was used to just being able to pretty much dump out the handle, which you've probably noticed at your own Magna, just because, whoops, the original lines kind of go soggy and swelling or crap, but there's no more of that now. There's definitely more engagement on the actual clutch itself. So from that point of view, absolutely well worth doing as a mod. Plus they look fantastic. Look at that, beautiful. Not only that, what a view. And yes, I'm back on this road because John showed it to me and I love it. But HEL are really good, and again, if you do buy the kit from HEL, or the line from HEL, please just let them know I sent you, just in case it ever helps me in the future. I don't have a discount code right now, unfortunately, and maybe I'll have one in the future. I might reach out to them and see will they give me one. But yeah, before you buy them, do reach out to me just in case I've forgotten to add the discount code to the video if they give me one. But I couldn't recommend the kit higher. The line was the perfect length, and the bolts are just top notch quality wise, and it does improve the feel of the clutch that little bit. It's more the engagement though. It's definitely doing more work on the clutch, keeping the clutch actually, you know, connected better, I suppose. Because before, I don't know, in the higher range of gears, the higher range of revs, I was getting a bit of slip, and I honestly didn't think it was the clutch, because there's not that much mileage on the bike, to be honest. So after this now, I have not seen the same thing again, and even when the bike is hot, absolutely no difference at all. And also this bike feels absolutely fantastic through corners now, so if you'd like to know how I improved that, go look out at the fork rebuild video, and that'll tell you just how I improved the handling a little bit on the front. Not a little bit actually, to be honest, the difference is absolutely mind-blowing. But anyway, if you've any questions on fitting the clutch line or anything else, please let me know in the comments. I will endeavour to answer you. Thank you very much for watching, and until next time, adios. Outro crew. How do you like seeing the Magna back in so many videos? I'm not gonna lie, I miss this bike. I miss this bike so goddamn much. We'll go towards Bandon. So yeah, you happy to see the Magna back? Let me know. Adios.